Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jen. Thank you guys for tuning in to Jen's Place today. I will be doing a review on my 600-pound life, Carrie's story. She is 37 years old and she is from Huntington, Texas. She has a husband named Chris and a daughter that's 18 years old. Basically, to start off, when we first see the episode, we see Carrie is just now waking up, so she, of course, starts off in the bathroom. She goes and gets, her husband tells her it's time to get up. So she goes and gets up and she gets ready, getting in the shower and stuff, and of course she has to have help from her husband because she is over 600 pounds. It says 600 pound plus. So at this point we don't know exactly how much she weighs. She says she suffers from asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, and lymphedema in her legs. So it's kind of hard for her to walk as soon as she gets up. Basically, that's the worst part of the day, is getting up and getting out of the bed, and she hates getting in the shower because it's, time consuming, it's painful, and her husband has to wash her up, so she just feels embarrassed and ashamed, and so he lays out her clothes, and then she gets in, she goes and gets dressed, and then of course he's in there cooking breakfast while she's getting dressed. So of course she has like a big plate of food to start her day off. Bacon, eggs, a lot of bacon. It was a whole bunch of bacon in that skillet. And eggs and with cheese on it, looked like. Anyway, she said he cooks her food because he knows what she likes to eat. And then, she eats her breakfast, and then she's heading off to work. This is the first person that we have seen on this My 600 Pound Life that has an actual job. She works at a doctor's office, which is a sit-down job. So, she said that's the only way that she can work there is because she can sit down. She goes into telling us that basically growing up, she was always big. By the time she was 8 years old, she weighed 100 pounds. She tells us that when she was 3 years old, she had a brother. And that basically she feels that her parents really didn't give her much attention, so food was basically her escape thing. Food was a way for her to get away from reality, basically. So like when she eats food, she just zones out and just worries about the food. Okay, she can't see nothing, she can't think of nothing but that food. So she gets to work, and as soon as she gets to work, she orders food. And I mean, I thought she was working, but she was actually over there typing away, typing away, and she was actually getting ready to order her some lunch after she just literally, it looked like literally she literally just ate breakfast, and she was already ready to eat lunch, and she had a whole bunch of lunch. So anyway, she gets off of work, and as soon as she gets off of work, then she's going home, and when she walks through the door, her daughter is there already preparing, well, actually her husband is there preparing dinner, and they eat pasta and breadsticks, and she's all like, it smells done. The food smells done. So she just can't wait to eat. And she's just sitting up there in that chair waiting to be served. And her husband, excuse me, hurries up and makes her a plate, and she just gobbles that down. She ain't even listening to what he's saying. Okay, so then she goes on to tell us that, like I was saying before, that by the time she was 8, she was 100 pounds. She said that her mom was a sponsor for a cheerleading squad or whatever, and her mom wanted her to be on the cheerleading team, but she said that wasn't her, that she was not that type of girl to be a cheerleader, so she did not partake in cheerleading. Her brother, I guess he must have played football, and so the mom, was really into the cheerleading thing, so anyways, she didn't want to do that. And then she said by the time she was 10 or 11 years old, she weighed 200 pounds. So she goes on to tell us that her dad was a heavy guy and that he had to get the gastric surgery, the gastric bypass surgery, I guess that's what they call it. And his doctor said that he had to get that in order to live longer. Well, once when they performed the surgery on her dad, they didn't stitch him up right, and I guess he became septic and died at the hospital. So by that time, she was already graduated from high school, and she was 18. And by the time she was 18, she was close to 200 pounds. I mean, not 200. She was close to 400 pounds by the time she was 18. Well, she had a one-night stand at 18 years old, and she got pregnant. So then, she had to move back in with her mom. So, when she moved back in with her mom, she was pregnant. Her mama kept telling her, she's not married, and she can't believe that she's pregnant and she's not married. So she got sick of hearing that, so she basically decided, okay, I'm just gonna go find me a husband. So she looked online and found her husband and got married to him and moved out of her mom's house. And anyways, once when her dad died, she said that was like a sad time for her, but the month after her daddy passed away, her daughter was born. So, she had the husband and she had her baby. And by the time she had the little girl, she was already over 500 pounds, she says. And then her daughter was going to daycare when she was like 3 years old, so that was a couple more years later. And she's working at the daycare that her daughter was going to, sorry. So, once when she was, her husband became abusive, and she wanted to get a divorce from him, so her grandma ended up paying for the divorce, and she divorced him because he was being abusive, and she did not want him the abuse to go to her daughter, so she got out of that relationship. And by that time she was like 560 pounds. Then she got back on the internet or social media, and she found Chris, and he knew. Basically at that time she was like 27 years old, and she hooked up with him, and he knew that she was big, and he didn't care about that. So she was like 600 pounds or close to 600 pounds by then. They got married. The daughter liked him, liked her husband for her dad, so basically he was a good stepdad. The daughter said that he's a good dad to her. She's glad that he can be a part of their lives and stuff. Excuse me. So, she said that she suffered from miscarriages. Her and her husband tried to have kids. She had 2 miscarriages, and So she had to get a hysterectomy, and after you have one of those, you have to be down for 6 weeks, just like after you have a baby. You have to be 6 weeks. You can't do anything really much. So she says she gained 50 more pounds during the 6 weeks, so she was close to 600 pounds. So she just gained weight while she was down from the hysterectomy. She said she was just eating, and she probably didn't get over, her dad passing away and all that stuff. And that did not deter her from eating. She just keeps eating. And then what happened next? Okay, so they are getting ready to go to Dr. Now's office. Her and her husband are both going together. And after all that, they make it to Dr. Now's office. Since they live in Huntington, Texas, and Dr. Now's office is in Houston. I'm not sure of how far that is, but it's far for her. And they stay in a hotel. They stay in the hotel. Not this time, but the next time. So this time they just go there, and she gets weighed, and the lady calls her and she gets weighed. And when she gets weighed, she weighs 602 pounds, 602.9 pounds. And she says that she is shocked that she weighs that much. And Dr. Now asked her, how did you get to this point? He asked her basically what her illnesses is. He's looking at her chart, and he looked at the chart and seems, he said you have high blood pressure, asthma, and diabetes. And basically he asked her, what does she eat in a day? She tells him that she eats candy, chips, and she has pop, and she just basically like snacks all day. Girl, you lying. But he also asks, like, how are you getting this food? And she's like, well, we both go grocery shopping. Basically trying to blame it off on somebody else. Girl, you feeding yourself that. I mean, he is cooking it, but you buying it too. So anyways, Dr. Now notices that she's breathing all hard and stuff, and he was like, it sounds like, you're doing a lot of belly breathing and stuff, and you're breathing from your belly. So then he listens to her breathing and stuff, and listens to her heart rate, and notices that her heart rate is above 80, and it's, for a resting heart rate is supposed to be 80, and hers was at 120. And he told her that she needs to lose weight in order to make her heart rate go down, because that is dangerous for her heart rate to be that high. So he gives her a diet plan and tells her that she needs to lose 60 pounds, and also she needs to do exercise, and she needs to lose that 60 pounds in 2 months, and she needs to exercise 2 times a day. And he also gives Chris a diet plan and stuff, and tell him that he needs to get weighed. He asks him, did he get weighed? So Chris gets on that scale after they come out of the doctor's office, and he weighs 318 pounds and 318.2 pounds. That's what he weighs. So they go home. Also, they go home, try and do the diet plan, which really, I don't think they doing no diet. They ain't doing no diet. She's still at work sneaking food, I'm pretty sure. But they didn't show her sneaking the food, but we know that she did. Anyway, so they go back 2 months later, and she says that she knows that she didn't hit the goal weight this time, and hopefully it's enough to get the surgery. She's just so worried about this surgery, like, you didn't even do no work. So This time she goes back, she gets weighed, she only lost 12 pounds this time, and same as her husband, he only lost 12 pounds. So Dr. Now is asking them, like, what happened? You only lost 12 pounds. I gave you 2 months, you should have been lost 60 pounds if you was following the diet and doing what I was asking you to do. You would have lost that amount of weight. And she says that, maybe she needs counseling. He basically asks her, like, what are your goals? Like, what are you here for? If you not going to actually do the work, then basically I can't help if you're not going to do anything. So she suggests that they do counseling for both of them, basically for their marriage or whatever. So they Doctor now decides to give them another chance and tells them, okay, you need to lose 60 pounds again. I'm gonna give you 2 more months, and tells Chris that he needs to lose 20 pounds. And Dr. Now was like, you need to do better. And she said that she's going to do better this time in order to lose the 60 pounds that she needs to lose in order to get the surgery. Then they go to the couples therapy, and the therapist asks them, how did you get to this point? And Carrie said that, he won't tell me no, and basically he's afraid if he tells me no, or if he does this or whatever, then I'm gonna leave him, or something to that nature. I'm like, Lord. So then after that, they go back to Dr. Now's office. It's months later. The 2 months pass. They go back, and she lost 34 pounds, and he lost 17 pounds. So, she was trying to act like, she's doing all this work, and basically her husband ain't doing nothing. She was talking trash about it, but Dr. Now basically told her, look, you still overeating, because 37 pounds, that's all you lost. And she gonna try and say, oh, well, I've been eating fruit. And he was like, that's not part of the diet plan. You ain't supposed to be eating fruit. And Dr. Now tells her, I know that you sneaking food when you're not around your husband. You've been sneaking food. You've been eating other than what you're supposed to be eating. And Dr. Now tells her, tells Carrie, like, look, your husband has lost more weight than you have lost because your body structures are different. A man's body and a woman's body is not the same. So, of course, that his pounds is more than her pounds, So, because men's bodies are heavier than women's. So, anyways, they go to the therapy session and stuff, and they starting to eat a little bit healthier. You see them she ordered these meals that you can get that's already prepared for you, healthy meals and stuff, and she's been doing the exercises, I guess, this time. So they go back to the thing. It's 2 months later, and she lost more weight. So altogether she lost 117 pounds, and her husband lost 18 pounds. So Dr. Now decides to schedule her for the surgery, and then he told her that she needs to, in 1 month, so in 1 month she'll go back to get the surgery, and she needs to lose 20 more pounds in order to get the surgery. Otherwise, it's going to be a no for the surgery on her part. So now it's time to, next thing you know, we see the hospital setting. So she tells us that she ended up losing 16 pounds instead of 20 pounds, but Dr. Now decided to still do her surgery because he seen that she was actually trying to do the work this time, because she was still continuing to go see the therapist, and she was still dieting and exercising like she was supposed to do. So he did the surgery, and before she gets the surgery, she tells us that that her trailer got ruined in a flood, so they were staying in a hotel. But then, she gets the surgery. She's all nervous and stuff about the surgery because of what happened with her dad. She gets the surgery. She comes out just fine. And it's like, I want to say like some weeks later. And 4 weeks later. So for the next 4 weeks, she's going to be on a liquid diet. And so at this time, she is drinking only liquids, and her husband and everybody else is eating regular food. So she's all mad, sitting there drinking broth, and they eating hamburgers. And she's gonna ask her husband, "How is your burger?" And he was like, "How is your broth?" Like, it's a burger, She's like, "It's broth." All mad because she can't have a burger. But hey, you had to get that surgery. She seemed like she was kind of like depressed or whatever about having to drink liquid. I would be depressed having to drink liquid all the time. Anyway, so Dr. Now says that she should lose 20 pounds from the first for the first 4 weeks. She should lose 20 pounds, and after that, every month she should lose 15 pounds. And then she did, she only had lost like 18 pounds since the surgery. So Dr. Now, basically, she had to go back there. He said that she wasn't, losing the weight that she should be losing. So she said that she was going to keep up with the weight loss journey and keep up with everything that she needs to do because she wants to get better at it. And at that moment, she weighs 457 pounds. And so she said she's still seeing that therapist, helping out with her mental issues about the food and stuff. And now she goes back to Dr. Now, and she lost 151 pounds. This is at the end of the story, so this is getting close to the end. And she weighs 442 pounds, and Chris lost another 14 pounds. And Dr. Now says that he's proud of her for basically doing what she needed to do and losing the 15 pounds that she needed to lose. So then we see her, and she said that she's going to keep eating better and exercising. Then we see her and her daughter out shopping for clothes. And then, it tells us that she weighs 409 pounds. And in the end, we see her and her family. After that, they are at the park playing. Her and her daughter also go for a walk too. That's when she weighed 457. But now that she weighs 409 pounds, they are at the park playing a game with the bean bags and stuff. And Dr. Now basically says that he's still going to keep up with her and continue to see how she's doing with her weight loss journey. Alright, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.